I'm Sophia Johns. I'm doing level 3 at Lincoln College, and I'm here today to make some chocolate fondants with you. So first off, get all your ingredients ready, and you will need to turn your ovens on. Fan oven, it's 180, a normal oven without fans 200, and then if it's a gas oven it'll be 6. So what I'm going to do first is to prepare the moulds. So you need your 25 grams of melted butter, a wash brush. If you don't have a wash brush, you can use like a kitchen towel or something, and the cocoa powder, and a little dish to take the excess into. So I'm just going to dip the brush in the butter and coat the edge of the moulds. Just nicely coat it there. And then just tip a little bit of the cocoa powder in, and then just tip it all the way around the edge until it's completely coated, just like this. And you can do that with all 4 of the moulds. The inside should look a bit like this. And this is all the moulds prepared and ready, so you can just put these to the side now until they're needed. So next you'll need your 100 grams of chocolate and 100 grams of butter, and you'll just need a pan of hot water, barely simmering, so not boiling, so not lots of bubbles, and the water can't be touching the bottom of the bowl, and also don't use a plastic bowl because it will melt. And we're just going to turn this on here and let the chocolate start melting. Add the butter in. Oh, it's stuck to the bottom. And you should just let it melt down itself, only stir it occasionally, just to let it combine. As you can see here, we're almost there now. It's got a nice glossy colour to it, almost all incorporated. Making sure the water's not too hot, not bubbling too much, not supposed to be boiling. This is the consistency we're looking for, and we're just going to pop this to the side now and let it cool for about 10 minutes before we add it to a mixture. Make sure you don't put it on anything that can melt. So this recipe calls for 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks, so we're going to have to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites for 2 of the eggs. So you can do it different ways if you like. I like to do it this way. You can buy egg separators as well. I just like to do it like this. Or you can use your hands, but you can get your hands all messy. Just like so. And then pop that into there. And again with this one. It doesn't matter if you get any shell or anything in the whites because we don't need these. Unless you want to use egg whites for another recipe, then you can save those. For that. So now we're just mixing the eggs and sugar together. You can use an electric whisk, or you can use a hand whisk if you don't have one. And basically you just need to mix it together until it's nice and thick and glossy. This is what it looks like after I've only whisked a little bit. This is not what we want because it's not thick enough and it's not pale enough. It needs to be nice and pale in colour. So this is the mixture's almost getting there. It's looking thick and pale, but what the consistency we want is we want the whisk to leave a bit more of a trail. So now this is the consistency we want. It's called the ribbon stage, if you want to use technical words. But look how nice and thick that is now. It's got a nice trail. And that is that. So next we're going to sieve in the 100 grams of flour. If you don't have a sieve, that's okay. You need to make sure you really don't mix all the lumps in. So I'm just going to sieve this in here. Going to beat in the flour and incorporate that all through the mixture. Make sure you just scrape down the edges so it all gets incorporated in, and then we can carry on mixing it in until it's completely mixed in. I've got our two mixtures here, and we're going to add the chocolate mixture in a third at a time and just incorporate that in with the spatula. Just make sure we keep the air in, so we've got to fold it in like this. Just until it's nice and combined. This is it incorporated in. Make sure you reach them right to the bottom because we don't want any unmixed bits at the bottom. And now I'm just going to add the second third in. And again, just fold it in until it's completely combined. The mixture, once all the chocolate is incorporated in, it's quite a thick one as you can see. And now we're just going to distribute it evenly between all the moulds. Just need 2 spoons so then you can scrape it in nicely without it touching the edges too much. And just do this until it's about, so it's got about this much space from the top, just so it's about up to there. It leaves it room, just so it's about up to there, so it leaves it room to rise up. Now these are all filled, just give them a little bit of a shake to settle the mixture down, just until it's flat. You can also use a spoon a little bit just to flatten it down, just so it's got a nice even top. So you don't want uneven fondants. Just sort of patting it a bit, not too aggressive, just so it looks like that. Now these have been chilled, put them on the baking tray and they can go in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So as you can see, they're getting very close to being done. One of the indicators you can tell that they are done is when they've start forming a crust on the top, and you can see that they're starting to come away from the side of the mould. So these need a couple minutes longer, which is a bit more than 10 to 12 minutes, but it just depends on your oven and just depends on the mixture. And just taking these out now. And just leave them to sit on the side for a minute. They're still in their moulds, just so they can set a bit. After they've just sat for a minute, you could just tip them over like that, and if you can feel them come out, then you know that they can come away from the moulds. And then you can just get your plate. And then tip that over. And now, cut in the centre there. It should come out nicely. See, you've got the nice gooey centre, nice cooked around the outside. I hope you've enjoyed watching me cook, and I hope you enjoy making your own fondants. And thank you for watching.